This is Katie. She fell in love with Ness. And they fell in love with Kaylie.
We fell in love with our maid of honor. People have judgments about us because we're a throuple.
Usually it's just like gross, disgusting, wrong. We just want to love one another and live our lives. Our friend Kristina is coming over. When I first had the first conversation with her where I officially was like, hey, yeah, like we are all together, like we're called the throuple. That was hard and I don't know why.
I don't think I could share the person I love. It's definitely not for me.
So that's our
king bed.
This is mine, furthest from the door.
And I'm in the middle.
Jason's in the middle.
And I'm on this side, closest to the door. The reality is that at night, me and Kaylie actually share a blanket. And Katie gets her own because she is...
I hog the blanket a lot. I roll.
We met at the job we were working at. We were working at a daycare and pretty quickly fell in love. We've been together for about 7 years now. We met Kaylie when she started working at the same daycare that we had met at. I was attracted to Kaylie right off the bat. I don't know, like you would walk in and I would just like stare at you for a second. And I was like, no, okay, like this is wrong.
Every time we walk in, I would get nervous and make sure like I look okay, like try to like impress you a little bit.
Me and Katie got married in 2021. Kaylie was our maid of honor.
Sometimes it's funny when I'm referring to the wedding and stuff, I'll like accidentally say like our wedding. And then I'm like, your wedding. From the start, I was very attracted to them as people, as my best friends. I saw the possibility of us becoming a thing.
None of us had verbalized it to like one another. I definitely knew that I was having feelings and pushing them away. That I just kind of was like, yeah, I think I need to like say something. So we had our conversation.
You coming to me and saying like you had feelings for Kaylie. I kind of had already known, and inside I was also feeling something. I also have feelings for Kaylie.
It felt weird to like say it out loud, and not only to say it out loud, but like to agree with one another. Like we both have feelings for our best friends. Like
where do we go from here?
What do we do?
What do we do?
So Kaylie had joined us in Disney World in November of 2022. We were there with another one of our friends and it felt more intimate, it felt more romantic.
We were just like flirting left and right, really like affectionate, like all over each other.
And then we just like kept going with it.
I think at one point, like me and you had like gone into a bathroom or something and I was like, what's happening? She's doing it back. Do you think this means what I think it means? And like you were like, yeah, I think so. I was like, maybe we should talk now, like here. And I remember you were like, no, like, let's not ruin the trip. And I was like, no, like I really think we should talk now. And we did. So we had sent our friend to bed and we said, go to bed, Tina. You joined us in our room and we stayed up till 2 a.m. just like talking.
I think that Katie definitely caught me by surprise. I feel like with Ness, we connects really well. I think with Katie, me and her have always just been like really like girly, like best friends, like type of thing. At the time, I didn't ever really have like a really girly feminine partner, so I was just like, oh, okay. So like that was something different for me to navigate, but it was very natural for us because we already had that dynamic going for us of the three of us being always together.
I think the most common judgment that we kind of get is like looks and
confusion.
Like
even talking with our families, sometimes our family members will throw in the like,
wife.
You're married, you're not.
Since being online, we've certainly gotten some comments. Usually it's just like those like single word comments like gross, disgusting, wrong, or like people lean into like their religious views or things like that. We just have to be okay with like laughing it off.
I personally feel like the positive outshines the negative.
So far, yeah, the positive has been great so far.
Even just in like the comment sections and stuff, like we've seen people just be like, thank you so much for sharing your story. Like you've helped me open up to my friend that I have feelings for.
Our friend Kristina is coming over to chat with us a little bit about our relationship and the trip that she was on with us. Well, I remember when I first had the first conversation with her where I officially was like, hey, yeah, like we are all together, like we're called the throuple. And that was hard, and I don't know why.
I have known Ness for a very, very, very long time. So I wasn't surprised at all when I found out that Kaylie was joining their relationship. I was very fearful of judgment. I was very worried about how people would perceive the relationship.
How did you feel on the trip?
So there were a lot of times where I felt a little like left out. Ness was like shoving Kaylie out of the way for guys staring at her, and I'm like, why am I not like being shoved out of the way for guys staring at her? I didn't really understand, but obviously now that I know like what's going on, I totally understand why, and now I understand why there was always a fight on who's sitting with who on rides.
I want to sit with her. I want to sit with her.
Yeah, fine, I'll sit with Tina.
How sweet it is. We all wanted to sit with her, you know?
Well, maybe I want to sit with her.
No. No, you can't sit with my girl.
Fine.
Get out of here.
I've always struggled with jealousy issues, so that would definitely be the absolute hardest part for me. I don't think I could share the person I love. I don't know how you guys do it.
We get that a lot.
We do.
I could never share.
I feel like that's like very typical for like monogamous couples. They're always like, well, I don't like think I could share, and like, I mean, neither did we.
Yeah, I feel like
it just kind of happened.
I feel like at this point we don't really consider it like sharing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like us.
Yeah.
Like, I love you. I love you.
That's normal.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's definitely not something that's for me.
How did you feel like, so the day that I told you?
I was like a little surprised, but I really wasn't. And I was a little bit nervous because like all I've ever wanted is for you guys to be like happy and safe.
Yeah.
Being in a throuple is not something that like you see very often or you hear about very often. So I was just worried about how people were going to perceive you. People are mean.
And it's a scary world too, I mean.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it like in our travels a little bit, like the culture shifts and changes that we encounter in other countries, like we could run into really like dangerous scenarios. Like not only are we women, not only are we lesbians, but we are in a three-way polyamorous relationship, and like it could get us into certain scenarios. I mean, it's really sad because like there's a bunch of countries and places that like we would love to go because they're beautiful, and like we just can't.
Right.
We just can't.
Yeah. How do you feel about like us now as like an established like throuple? Like, do you see like how we've changed, or?
I feel like you guys have changed in a good way. You know, you've grown and developed as people do, and you've gotten stronger as a relationship.
If you have judgments about people in an alternative relationship dynamic, whether it's ours or any other type of a relationship dynamic, it's good to just like really like look inside yourself and like try to figure out like why it is that you have those judgments. Like it's not directly harming you that we're together, that we're in love.
In the near future, we are looking to get a house. Like, we want to plant some roots somewhere
Yeah.
Yeah.
And babies.
and start our family once we plant our roots.
Yeah.
I think that our relationship works because we have the foundation of being best friends.
At the end of the day, like it doesn't matter what's going on in the world around us. I know that I can come home and I can just like drop it all at the door and just like be with you guys, like be with my people.
I think it works because we love each other.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer.